guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriorstrade Warriors fans have just dropped a piece of news that absolutely nobody saw coming. This isn't just a minor update or a small roster shuffle. No, this is one of those announcements that makes the entire league stop what it's doing, check its phone, and say, wait, their Warriors did what? Yes, the Bay Area just got hit with a surprise development that stunned everyone, and we're going to break down exactly what it means for the team, for Stephen Curry, and for the Warriors' future heading into the season. For weeks now, there's been speculation about whether Golden State would make one more move before camp. The roster looked decent, but questions were lingering. Were they really going to rely heavily on the same core? Were they content with the development of Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and the younger guys? Would they stand bait with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Curry leading the way, or would management shake things up? Nobody had a definitive answer. And then, boom, last minute, the front office pulled the trigger on news that has every NBA analyst scrambling. Their Warriors have always thrived on catching people off guard. Remember the Kevin Durant signing? Nobody saw that coming until it was official. Remember the mid-season tweaks like adding Gary Payton, back into the fold. Moves that seemed small but turned out to be huge. This time the Warriors are back at it again, reminding everyone that just when you think you've got them figured out, they changed the script entirely. And that's exactly why this surprise has people buzzing. It came out of nowhere, and yet it might be exactly what this team needs. So what is this last-minute surprise all about? Reports out of the Bay Area suggest that the Warriors have finalized a move that reshapes their rotation and signals just how serious they are about competing for another title in the Stephen Curry era. And this isn't just about adding another name to the roster. This is about making a statement. Their Warriors want everyone to know they're not just content with being good. They want to be great again. They want to be feared again. One of the biggest factors in this surprise news is timing. Training camp is right around the corner. Most teams have already set their rosters, already made their decisions, and are ready to start preparing for the grind of the season. Their Warriors, though, were not satisfied. They knew they had to address certain issues: size, defense, veteran leadership, and now with this unexpected move, they're telling the league they mean business. For a team that's been criticized for standing still while other Western Conference contenders loaded up, this is the Warriors firing back. What makes this even more shocking is how little it leaked beforehand. The Warriors are notorious for running a tight ship when it comes to front office dealings. Insiders usually have a read on what's coming, but this time almost no one had the scoop until it was already happening. That's what makes this news so electrifying. Fans woke up, scrolled through their feeds, and saw a bombshell. Analysts scrambled to make sense of it. And the rest of the NBA is now re-evaluating what Golden State might look like in the months ahead. Now, let's talk about what this means for Stephen Curry. At 36 years old, Curry is still playing at an elite level, but the Warriors know his window as a superstar carrying the load isn't endless. Every decision they make right now revolves around maximizing these next 2 to 3 years while he's still capable of dropping 30 points a night and bending defenses to his will. This last-minute news is directly tied to that urgency. It's the front office acknowledging we owe it to Steve to go all in. That's why Warriors fans should be excited. This isn't just a random adjustment. This is about winning. Now, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are also impacted by this move. Both veterans are at a point where they need support around them to be their best selves. Draymond can't be asked to anchor every defensive assignment on his own anymore. Klay can't be expected to shoulder massive offensive loads night after night. This surprise news gives them help. It relieves pressure. It balances the roster. and it puts them in a position where their strengths are highlighted instead of stretched too thin. Then there's the youth movement. Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Trace Jackson Davis, Brandon Podziemski. These guys are the future, but they're also the present. The surprise move Golden State just dropped sends a clear message to the young core. You're important, but we're not putting all the weight on your shoulders just yet. We're giving you a chance to grow without being thrown into impossible situations. That's a huge deal because one of the biggest critiques of the Warriors in the past few seasons has been the awkward balance between developing youth and chasing championships. This decision smooths that out. Now, let's think about the league-wide implications. The Western Conference is brutal right now. The Nuggets, Lakers, Suns, Clippers, Mavericks, Kings, all of them are stacked with talent. If the Warriors had gone into the season standing pat, they risked being outgunned. But this last-minute bombshell changes the calculus. Opponents now have to rethink their matchups with Golden State. Coaching staffs have to redraw their scouting reports, and other contenders might even feel pressured to make their own late moves in response. That's the power of a surprise like this. It sends ripples through the NBA, not just through one team. But let's also be real here. With surprise news, always comes big questions. Is this move enough to push Golden State back into true title contention? Does it solve all their issues or just some? Can it hold up in a 7-game playoff series against a juggernaut like Denver? Warriors fans will rightfully ask those questions because while this surprise is exciting, it also raises expectations. If you're going to stun the league with last-minute decisions, you better make sure it translates into wins. And here's another angle. What does this mean for the chemistry of the team? Their Warriors have always been a squad that thrives on continuity, on knowing how each piece fits together. Bringing in a surprise element right before camp is risky. It could disrupt things, or it could inject fresh energy and motivation into a group that desperately needed it after last season's ups and downs. That's going to be one of the most fascinating things to watch in the weeks ahead. How quickly does this move gel and what does it do to the team's chemistry? Fans are already debating it online. Some are calling it genius. Others are skeptical. That's the beauty of a surprise like this. It gets people talking. It stirs up emotions. It puts the spotlight back on Golden State in a way that only big-time franchises can pull off. And no matter where you land on the debate, you can't deny that the Warriors just made the NBA off-season a whole lot more interesting. Warriors fans, I want to hear from you. Did this news catch you completely off guard? Do you think this surprise move is the missing ingredient to put Golden State back in the championship mix? Or are you skeptical that it will make a real difference? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is just getting started. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe for more breaking Warriors coverage, and stay tuned. Because if the front office was willing to pull this off at the last minute, who knows what else they might have up their sleeve as the season unfolds. This is the Warriors we're talking about. Expect the unexpected.